Well, hey there everyone. So this week, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm very excited for it. So I have a little bit of a story to what I'm going to be doing because I've already attempted to do this and I failed. So for what I'm actually going to be doing, I was on Pinterest, like usual, to get some ideas of what to make, and I came across this beautiful, lovely sweater that was like cropped and like mossy, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's giving like Mosscore, like Walking Dead vibes, and I absolutely had to make it. So the story, so the sweater originally is made in knit, and so I was like, I can try that. I've learned how to knit. And so I'm a little ashamed of myself because I did get pretty far. Like, I got this far on it, knitting, but I'm gonna take it apart and I'm gonna crochet it instead. Yeah, it was turning out really good. The only problem is I hate knitting. Like, it's fine. It looks great. It takes so long, and I do not have the time or the patience to finish this. Like, this is only the first panel, and it's not even done yet, and it's taken me one and a half full extended Lord of the Rings movies to do just this much in knitting. So yeah, I'm deciding to frog that, which means take it apart and start it back again and crochet, because yes, you can do like cool like cabling and stuff in knitting, but I found out you can also do cabling in crochet. So that's what I'm gonna be doing because I don't want to take so much time on this. So yeah, we're gonna make a Mosscore sweater. I'm gonna break it down a bit. So the original sweater is going to be in this like off-white color, and then so it looks like it's probably gonna end, so I want it to end pretty short, so it's gonna be something where I'm gonna wear like a tank top or something underneath. So it's probably gonna end like here-ish, I'm feeling. And then for the mossy parts, it looks like in the picture they are made out of crochet, kind of like the same technique you would see if you were to make crochet lavender. So I'll show you a bit of that later. So I am going to be crocheting a bunch of strands of different colors of green, and then I'm going to be like hand sewing them onto the sweater where I want them. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. For the sweater itself, it's going to be 4 panels. So panel for the front, panel for the back, and then 2 arm panels, and then it all gets like sewn together. So I am going to do cording in the front of the middle of the front part, and then I'm going to do small cording down the arms because theirs has that too. So yeah, we're going to attempt this, and it's probably going to be done way faster than knitting. And I do feel bad that I am giving up on this knitting project again. There are so many things that I have just opted to crochet over knitting, and I can't do it. Maybe one day I'll have the patience, but not today. It is not this day. So let's frog this. This is painful. It's gonna be painful to do. I spent a lot of time on this, but let's be honest, I'm not gonna remake it after I make the crochet one. Because what's the point? I'm already gonna have it. And I need this yarn. Sayonara. Go away and never come back. Can you tell I've been watching a lot of Lord of the Rings making this sweater? And I'm gonna continue. I'm probably gonna end up binging all of them. Let's see, I'm halfway through the second one. And then I'm definitely probably gonna end up moving into The Hobbit. And if I have more time, maybe Rings of Power will make an appearance. But I feel like I won't have to, because I don't think this is going to take me super long, especially because I'm going to be crocheting it. If I were knitting, I'd be going into all of them. But I feel like I can definitely get through the first 3 and still not be done though. Seeing as how I've already watched 1.5 knitting. Freedom! And frog. Alright, this is going to take forever to do, so I'm going to see you after this is all wound up again. Okay, we are finally unwound, and it's looking messy. So now I'm going to go ahead and start it in crochet. So I think I'm gonna go for, let's go for a 4.5 hook because I don't want it to be too large. So in order to do the cabling and crochet, it has to be either double crochet, half double crochet, or triple crochet. So I think I'm gonna try and do double crochet. So that means it's gonna be a bit more gapey. So I'm going to use a smaller hook rather than go for the 6, which is what I usually do because it's faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that. I'll update you on how many chains I end up doing, but I have to see first. I think I'm going to start with doing just like 2, maybe 3 little ribbing lengths just so it stays straight. So I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to see how many of those end up making the length that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the rest of 2 towers and get started. Alright, so this is 74 of ribbing, and it's 3 single crochets high. So now I'm going to go ahead and start my double crochets. I'm trying to decide if I want to do it kind of like the mimicked texture of the knit that I was doing, because you could see that some of the panels were like popping out and then some of them were in. And that's because it was like knitting versus purling, and I think I can kind of mimic that with with crochet. But the first row is definitely going to be all just straight double crochets. And then I'm gonna play around, because if you like do some special double crochet things, then it can have like a row pop out. So I think I might try some of that just to give it some texture. But we're gonna see. So first I just have to double crochet all the way across, so that's gonna be 74 to equal the amount of ribbing that I did. So let's keep doing that. Okay, so this is where I am so far. So I decided to add 3 cables instead of just 1 because the middle one was a little small. So I added 3 instead of 1, and it's turning out pretty good so far. It is a little stiff, but as soon as I iron it, it should be less stiff. And because of that, I feel like what I'm gonna do for the back is just straight double crochets. Otherwise, this sweater is gonna be like completely too thick. So yeah, the front's gonna have all the design, and then the back's just gonna be straight double crochets. And then for the arm, I'm just gonna do like a very thin cabling, and then the rest is just gonna be regular double crochets. So yeah, besides that, that actually looks pretty good for crochet and not knitting. And there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows up. Whereas in knitting, if I was 5 rows, I'd be like this far. So I'd say that's going pretty well so far. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll keep you guys updated on all of my progress. For reference of my spacing here, so I have 15 of it popping out, and then 5 going in, and then I have this cording is 10, so 5 on each side. come on. So 5 on each side, and then 4 here. And then this one is only 8, so 4 on each side, and then repeat. So 4, 10, 5, and 15. So that should equal somewhere around 76. So I think the ribbing was 74, but then when I was adding in the double crochets, it ended up being 76. So as long as it's even, it doesn't really matter. So that's what I'm looking at measurement wise. All right, let's press play on Lord of the Rings and keep doing this. All right, the first panel is now done. I think she's looking pretty good. I cannot express to you how vital ironing is. Like, this looked rough before I ironed it, and it was really stiff and whatnot, but after I ironed it, it looks beautiful. So if you're using acrylic yarn, use an iron, please, with tons of steam. So yeah, the first panel is done. So now I just have the back panel, which again is just going to be about 76 stitches, all double crochet, no fancy things like this, just straight double crochet like regular. And then the arms I will talk about later, but let's get that back panel done first. And as a note, I have still 2 hours left in Return of the King, so doing good. The film's almost like it's over 4 hours, so I'm doing good. Listen, if you don't cry like this at the end of Return of the King, I can't trust you as a person. Alright, so yesterday I got a lot of work done. I did the whole back, and then I sewed it to the front, and then I added the ribbing for the collar. So I got quite a bit done yesterday. So all that I have left for the sweater part is the 2 arms. I'm not quite sure what measurements I'm going to do for those yet, but I guess we'll find out. And then after that is just making the moss and putting it on there. So let's go ahead and turn on the Hobbit. I think I still have like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours left. And let's just get to some arms. Alright, so for the arm measurement, so I did do 76 across, which is the same length as the body pieces. And then I'm only doing a middle twist there, so it's 4 and 4, so 8. And then the rest, like I said, are just regular double crochets, so no like indents or anything. So that's what I'm looking like. I will update you on how high I go. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. Alright, it's officially time to break out this bad boy. This bad boy. Because my back hurts. So, I'm just going to wear this incredible back heating pad. Because I'm in pain. So I'm gonna look a little goofy, but I'm gonna feel incredible. I probably hit my mic a lot just now. Even comes with ties. And then this clip's here, but that would clip over my mic. So I'll do that later. This is how I'm gonna be for the rest of the time. So, I ran into a little bit of a problem. I ran out of yarn for my sweater. And I cannot get more until tonight. So, therefore, I'm going to start the moss. So, these are my assortments of greens and brown. So, this is how far I got on the sleeve. I'm either close to finishing it or maybe like a 1 or 2 rows off. We'll see. So this is not quite done yet, and I still have another sleeve to go. So yeah, so I can work on the moss for right now, and then later tonight I will go and get some more yarn. So yeah, let's get started on the moss. So I'm going to be using a 3.5 hook for my moss because it looks very small in the picture. And we're gonna wing it. We're just gonna do a bunch of colors and a bunch of different lengths and see what happens. I think I'm just gonna like chain 5. And then just like insert back into the thing and slip stitch. Yeah, so just like chain 5 and then go into the next one and then slip stitch, and then just keep doing that all the way down, I think. So I'll catch you back after I do a couple of these bad boys. So this is what a finished one looks like. Pretty mossy. So I'm just gonna make a ton of these in a bunch of different lengths and colors. And then when the sweater's done, I'm just gonna like sew them on as best as I can. Alright, so it's day 3, I believe, and last night I made a bunch of moss babies. So I made a bunch of moss. There. And I still have a bit more to go. I want to do these 2 more colors. I've done 4 so far. So I'm going to do these 2, make a couple of those, and then I think I'll be done. I think I'll have enough moss at least until I start sewing it on and see what happens. And then I did go out and get more yarn yesterday, so I do have more yarn to finish the sleeve. I think the one sleeve that I did, I think the length is fine, but I have to pin it to it and just see if it works first. And then I can work on the other sleeve. And then I can start putting it together and then start working on the moss. So yeah, I think the first thing I'm gonna do today is see if I like that sleeve. And then I'm probably gonna work on the other sleeve first before I go back into this. So let's go ahead and watch the last hour of the last Hobbit movie. Probably gonna cry again. Let's see what happens. So unfortunately, after I pinned the sleeve to the top to see what it looked like, I actually kind of hate it. So I think I'm going to frog it and redo it. It's just too big. I made it way too long. Like after it's folded and put on, this is how thick the sleeve, like that's far too big. So I think I'm gonna try and do it more like this size. That seems more reasonable. Still with the cabling down the center. I just made it too big. I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. So, but I don't think that'll take very long. But I am... Eve, baby. My Kazumi. But I am gonna frog this. So, let's do that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do it so it's like at an angle like that, like usual sleeves go. So I think I'm gonna try and have it so that the bottom equals 44, and then once I get to the top, it equals 52. So just like a slight increase on either side, with the center still being cabling. So I think I'm going to frog this and then go ahead and figure that out. So I'll meet you back after this is all taken apart. Alright, I've now wound myself a big ball of yarn. So I frogged the whole sleeve and now I'm going to restart it. I think I'm going to chain 44 and then just slowly increase till I hit that 52 mark. So we're gonna redo the sleeve. We're gonna do that. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I did indeed cry at the end of the last Hobbit movie. I'm sorry. Alright, so I have redone the sleeve and it fits a lot better. So it gives me a nice little, you know, bigger at the top, smaller at the bottom. It's not crazy long, but it's long enough, and then I'm just gonna have like this much of a cuff, and it'll be good. So yeah, I ended up with the bottom being 44 and the top being 52 like I did plan, and every, you know, couple of rows I just increased. So that's how I got the sleeve done. So now I just have to make the second one and then I can put everything together, do a couple more mosses, and then do like put it on. So we're getting closer for sure. And I did finish The Hobbit, and yes, I did cry because that's who I am as a person. So yep, okay, I'm just gonna do the other sleeve and then I will catch you back in a bit. Alright, the main sweater is done. So now all I have to do is finish up those last couple of mosses and then sew them onto the sweater, and then I got a moss sweater. That just looks really cute to begin with. I'm very happy with it so far. So soon I will be sewing these bad boys on, which is probably going to take like forever. But pretty much the idea that I want with those is for the entire bottom to be covered in moss, because that's what it looks like in the photo. Like, it looks like the bottom's been like completely eaten up by moss kind of vibe. And then some like moss coming up a bit, and then a couple moss pieces on the arm. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the moss. So we'll see how far I get today. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I don't know if I'm going to finish it today or have to work on it tomorrow, but the main part is done. So let's get to making some moss. So basically what I did to combine colors is I just took like 2 different colors and I just twisted them together. So it kind of like integrates them with each other. And then I just sewed it on. So pretty much all the pieces that you'll see are just like twisted around each other. And that's how I got all the colors to mix. Now remember why I don't film constantly, because I have to put on makeup and find a new outfit for every week. Every day, I meant. Okay, so it is the 4th and final day of this sweater. I am almost done with it. I just really didn't feel like working on the rest of it last night, so I saved the last touches for today. So I'm not gonna show it too much because I don't want to spoil the reveal, but I got all of the moss put on the front, and I just have to do the moss around the back and then on the arms. So I'm still doing pretty good in my moss stash. I think I'm doing fairly well. I might have to do some more for the arms, but we're doing pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to continue sewing on this moss. And I'll meet you back in a bit. I think that this turned out so good. I am in love with this sweater. I look like I had my sweater eaten up by the Walking Dead world, and it's just mossy, and I love it. But yeah, I think the cabling turned out really good looking. I didn't expect it to look so good. As soon as I found out that I could do cabling in crochet rather than knit, I was all for crochet. I am so mad at myself that I did undo the entire knitting that I did. But you know what? I don't have time or patience for knitting these days. I have not completed an entire knitting project because it just takes far too long and I'm far too impatient. Yeah, this gives me like Jurassic Park vibes. This gives me apocalypse vibes. I am just so happy with it, and it's pretty sturdy. It's definitely gonna be warm, but I am excited to wear this in winter. I feel like this is something, even though it's a little odd, I feel like it's something that I would wear out just because personally I like it. A lot of people might find it weird, but I think it's cool. Yeah, all of it just turned out fitting really well. I'm glad that I did redo the sleeves because the other ones were like this low and it was just not looking right. I did opt out of putting moss on the sleeves. I just, one, was lazy and didn't feel like doing it. And then two, I just feel like it looked better just with having the bottom all eaten up and then just leaving the rest to look more natural. So I just didn't put any. Maybe I'll do some later, but for now, this is what we're looking at. Let me know if you liked this kind of like talk along kind of vibe for the video. Personally, I don't enjoy doing makeup every day and dressing up every day because generally I look like a little goblin sewing my projects. But if you like the more chat-alongs rather than like tutorial-y things, then let me know. I'll do whatever. I think it's nice to like change up the style a bit and project a bit. Yes, this did take about 3 days and just a little bit today. So 3.5, we'll give it a good all 3.5. I feel like I could have finished this in the span of all Lord of the Rings movies if I hadn't started knitting at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings movies. So sorry for my sad crying bits at the end of each of the trilogies. But what do I gotta say? I watched those like a million times and I will never not cry at the end of each of those movies. I am an emotional gal. So yeah, I think this was a super fun project to do and it turned out looking really freaking good and I just want to do more cabling. That looks incredible. I want to do more of it. More! And I've just added another sweater into my summer collection that I need to wear during winter. Too many sweaters have I made this summer, but at least I'll be prepared when it gets cold enough. So, anywho do, if you like what I did, go ahead and like and subscribe. I post most Saturdays, mostly at noon, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching!